Are you hitting a creative block, struggling to share your content on social media because it's not quite perfect yet? Well, that's about to change right now. Welcome to the Live Advantage Show. I'm your host, Ed Troxel from edtroxel.com, where I help make video marketing simple for busy professionals like yourself. And before we dive into today's episode, I just want to let you know that this episode is sponsored by Real Estate Agents Go Live, a new program helping agents step up their video marketing efforts online and use live streaming video. That's right, live streaming. Facebook Live, YouTube Live, whatever live platform you prefer, and use that to their advantage to get more visibility, get more listings, and really grow their connections within the community. You can learn more about Real Estate Agents Go Live at realestateagentsgolive.com. Now, let's welcome our guest onto the show and talk about content and why it's so important for us to share our gift and really be able to share our creativity with others. Let's go ahead and welcome our guest. Good morning, Kevin. How are you?
Good morning. I am doing well. How are you, Ed?
I am great. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience here.
Absolutely. So my name is Kevin Logan with the Jr. Because you don't want to run into my dad. I am a recruiter by day, father, husband by night. Where it is pertinent here. I was a recruiting coordinator with Amazon about a year and a half ago. And Amazon, of course, being the large, incredibly big place it is and the amount of hiring you do, I got burnt out pretty quickly. And I had to figure out what it is that I really wanted to do in this life. And so after leaving Amazon August 2020 to move forward into why we're talking here today, I became an independent recruiter. And so there were principles and purposes of which I wanted to do business that I realized I could not do in the corporate world so much, or at least I needed to figure out more about how it is that I wanted to be a recruiter versus a company telling me how I wanted to be a recruiter. And so over the last year, from August till now, I've been able to pick and choose the companies I work with, and really lay out kind of my mission, vision, and values in doing so, and the way in which I want to work with candidates, the process of and the way I want it to be handled for folks, and so on and so forth. So I've really been able to carve out a niche for myself in the recruiting space, which is. And a lot of the reason, again, why I'm here today is I get to be as creative as I want with the companies that let me work with them. And so some cool things I've been able to do most recently is on the recruitment marketing side of things. Mm-hmm. And so I work with startups who, as a recruiter, a lot of what I do is to try to connect with talent that sometimes is difficult to reach. And so when you work with startups, that adds just another layer to it, right? Like I'm not reaching out from an Amazon or a Google. I'm reaching out from a name you've never heard. Yeah. So I've got to work in different capacities and creative ways to get those folks to want to listen. And so most recently, I've been creating content on LinkedIn so that I can be a face, a name, so that people can know, like, and trust me when I reach out to them. And I've created very creative recruitment marketing videos to help elicit those responses and to get folks to come to me versus me having to come to them. So that will kind of bring you up to speed as to where I'm at. But yeah, my jam is recruitment marketing, and I'm one of those really weird people, Ed, that really likes people. I really love hearing their stories. I don't mind dealing with some of the nonsense that can happen when you deal with people, because I understand that nonsense. 100%. So anyway, I love what I do, love being a recruiter, and it's been a heck of a lot of fun this last year, being creative as I want to get folks to respond and like, know, and trust me.
Yes. Oh, and we're going to touch on that too, by the way, the creative part in just a moment. But you bring up some really key points. You talked about LinkedIn, so we'll dive into that. And you also talked about not only creating content, but creating video content to increase that know, like, trust factor, which is so key, because that's for any business, but because you do want to stand out in your niche. So let's start, I guess, with the platform. So let's talk about LinkedIn, and then we can kind of talk about the actual video part and how to get creative, because a lot of people do struggle with, one, just creating posts in general and what platform to be on, but two, also how to get creative with taking things to even a video standpoint. So let's start with LinkedIn and why you chose LinkedIn, because that's actually how we met, is through a LinkedIn connection, reach out there. So let's talk about that.
So this is probably going to rub some people the wrong way, but I do that, and that's okay. So if there's one thing you're going to know about me out there in live land, is I'm very open, honest, and transparent. And the honest, open, and transparent answer is I could not stand creating content on any other platform. I felt like I just felt like there was very surface level content. So I go to Instagram. When I would create content, all I would get was reactions. I'd get like a heart emoji, or, you know, like there's no feeling to that. I'd get nothing in that. And so I would, you know, somebody would comment, you know, and it would be very, very short comments. Thanks for sharing, laugh out loud, something. And then I would answer back effectually and get nothing back. And I just couldn't believe how that worked. And it didn't matter where I went. If it was Facebook, it was just a different level of comment. Now people are commenting, but now I'm getting like tons of trolls, tons of people that aren't responding in kind. And so it just continued that way. And so what I found with LinkedIn was most conversations start at a place of respect. Because it's this quote unquote professional network, most people that are on LinkedIn at least began thinking of it in that way. And so even at times when you post something and it elicits a response from somebody that can be kind of trolly, there will also be 15 other people that are telling that person to get the hell out of the comments.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's the type of community that is LinkedIn. And that's the real reason why I started creating on LinkedIn, is because it felt like it was more of those people. And then to bring it on to my first point, the comment section. I'm all about the comment section. I want to engage. I want to start conversations. I want to create meaningful relationships. I'm not on social media to be antisocial. I'm on social media to be social. And so that's the point. You know, just a like emoji doesn't do it. Just a love emoji doesn't tell me anything. There's no context for that content. So I comment. And so what happened was what happened for me and LinkedIn is when I began, I just started engaging with people, commenting on their posts. And as opposed to every other social media network that I utilized, I just found that they responded in kind, and there were more open, honest, and transparent conversations. And then the keyword is conversations. So that's why I chose LinkedIn.
Oh, and that's why we instantly hit it off, because it's all about the conversation and really being able to have those conversations that lead to those relationships and build out that community. And, you know, those who tune into my show know that I'm all about the conversation, and really, when it comes to live broadcasting, talking about, you know, the magic happens in the comments. And that could be for any post, but especially live broadcasts, is that you put yourself out there, you have to step out and share something. And then once you do that, you're opening up that door to the conversation. And it's the comments that is really where things start to happen. And that's where you can find, you know, your leads, your collaborations, your sales, like all of those things happen. But again, it starts with you showing up and delivering something. Yes. Say it one more time for those in the back.
He said sales, guys. He's not joking. Sales, guys.
Yes, yes. And so that's been the interesting part, is that when it comes to social, it's not just sharing the content, but also having those conversations and getting those sales. And what's interesting to me is that for you chose LinkedIn pretty much out of the gate, where most everyone else will have chosen Facebook or Instagram or whatever and think LinkedIn to the side, because it's kind of one of those things where it can feel awkward, especially for those who are more social, if you will, over on Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that you chose LinkedIn as your primary there.
And so LinkedIn can be an intimidating place. And
Yes.
I get why, because now we're going to get into a pet peeve. You know, the one thing I do hate about LinkedIn is we use titles, right? I hate titles.
Yes.
You know, what you find out in life, people, when you talk to enough people, you get to corporate places, you work in jobs, you work with startups, is the VP of marketing and the dude who just works in marketing, they're not that much different. They're just people. They're just human beings. They have families. They have lives outside of work. And you know, oftentimes what LinkedIn does is it creates this identity, right? And so people put their identity into their jobs and those roles. And so that intimidation, I know, stops a lot of people because they feel like they're not the expert in their space. And so much of LinkedIn is not social. It should be. It's you creating content around your space. And so if you feel like you're not an expert, then you feel like you'll be called out to the floor about that. And so oftentimes when I speak to people, that's the problem, is they don't know what to post. But that's not true. They do know what to post. They're just scared to do it because they feel like the reaction that they'll get is not the proper one, or one that will have them feeling like, ooh, I should do this again. When so often that is the furthest from the truth. Um, you know, on LinkedIn, you're gonna find your tribe. You're gonna find a bunch of people that are in the same place you are, that have absolutely no idea what the heck they're gonna create every single day, and yet and still they do. I'm right here. I wake up every day and I have absolutely no idea. I don't have a plan. I have this calendar in front of me. I don't use it to schedule anything, and that's on purpose. Now, is that to say that every day is like a new prompt? No, I write ideas. I have, it's right by me. I have like 7,000 ideas of things. And so, you know, you get to that place, but it really starts with that consternation, that anxiety of you not being the expert. And I just want to like put that to bed. All an expert is, people, is you are one, maybe two steps ahead of somebody else in the space that you were at. And I guarantee you, you at home are one to two steps ahead of somebody else that would consume your content. So don't be afraid to tell them how you are an expert in what you know.
Oh, that is so good. I hope that you all listen to that and re-listen to that, because it's so key, especially if you're feeling a little down and out, or you're struggling with whatever it is you're trying to do. Remember that part, is that you are an expert. Because I know, like, especially
You
when you're
are.
starting out, saying the word expert is like this big, huge, like, oh my gosh, I can't say that word. You know, people are going to look at me for,
Nobody is.
yeah, it's, it's,
Nobody is.
that's exactly what it is. You're one or two steps ahead. Oftentimes, you're probably a lot more.
Way more.
Yeah.
Just you
But
don't give yourself enough credit.
exactly. Yeah. And so we just have to get more comfortable with knowing that we are the expert. We
Yeah.
are at least one to two steps ahead of other people. And that's why they're coming to us. That's why they're tuning into our content and really giving us some of their time. Like, time is so valuable. And so when you get someone who stops what they're doing to watch your broadcast, to listen to your audio, to comment, like,
Mhm.
that's huge. And you have to take that time out of your day to be able to reciprocate and be able to go
Mhm.
there and follow up with them, even if it's just a quick comment.
And just to add to that, here's one other thing I want to give to folks at home that are thinking about creating content on LinkedIn. I'm a millennial, and we are getting on LinkedIn in droves. I think it's Gen Z. Is that the one before us? Gen Z as well, right?
Yeah.
And then even before that, well, these are all people that are just fresh out of college, or like just getting started into their real career. So trust me when I say, if you have life experience, if you're like 27 and older and have held jobs, trust me when I say you are ahead of these 18, 19, and 20-year-olds figuring it out. So that means that there is somebody consuming your content that doesn't know and could use your help. And I can assure you, it's like more and more 18, 19, and 20-year-olds are getting on LinkedIn. The active user base is growing, and that's because the market out there, right?
Yeah.
The word is getting out there that us recruiters are on LinkedIn. We source on LinkedIn. We find people. We want you to create content. And so I'm seeing a lot more young people try to be, the creators of their space. They want to be those industry experts. And so they're getting in there early. They don't know what they're talking about, but they're consuming people's content that do. And then they're creating content. So you have those people. Trust me. You have information which other people need. Everybody does. In the different spaces of which you are indeed an expert. And again, that word, I hate that word. I don't think anybody are experts, honestly. If you are a believer in being a lifelong learner, you are never an expert because you just never reached the mountaintop. So I hate that word, for the record.
I agree. I'm right there with you. It's one of those words that it's just like, it's almost like the F word for me, which is failure. Like I hate that word.
I love that word. I hate that you hate that word, Ed, but okay. No, yes, I got you.
I look at failure as opportunities.
Yes.
So
Yes.
because you're never really failing. Just because it didn't work out the way you had hoped doesn't mean that it wasn't the right route that you were supposed to go,
Right.
And so I always say that it's an opportunity, not failure. And when you talk about creating content, let's talk about video, because creating content, a lot of us can get used to that with regular social posts and stuff. And yes, video's been around for a long time, and live streaming's been around for years now, but it's really crucial now, more so than ever, especially because of the pandemic, but more so than ever, we're seeing all of the platforms embrace video, have live streaming options. We know that the statistics are out there that people prefer lives, they prefer video, and it's very intimidating for a lot of people to, one, step in front of the camera, but two, be creative with what they're doing. So can you tell us a little bit about what you've been doing with your videos and maybe what you've been seeing out there as well?
Definitely. So I'll say creating video is really tough. And I know that, especially starting out. So when I'll just tell you my journey. So when I first started out, I started creating content on Instagram. I've always been a huge, can I say the A word?
Sure.
I've always been a huge smartass. And so in doing so, I always think of stories in my head, like skits. And I think in skits. Don't ask me why. But in doing so, when I had my son, and I was just going through just how so on a day-to-day, I was working at home, just going through like how our life is crazy. And I was like, you know what? This would be funny. So I started creating these skits on Instagram and just posting them. And I can't tell you how much like consternation, anxiety, depression, I mean, every emotion you could feel before I pressed post. And I can't tell you how many times I deleted my posts and how difficult it is. It's so difficult. And so I did that for a while, and I could not get over the fact of me creating video. And so I stopped. I did about maybe 7, 8, 9 of them. And then I just completely stopped because I was too nervous.
Yeah.
So more recently, back on LinkedIn. So here's what I recommend, and here's what I do. When I started back, I knew that I'm in the same boat, right? So I had that same issue in that I did not feel I was the expert in my space. So who am I to speak about anything on video, especially on LinkedIn? And so instead of doing that, I thought about, okay, don't think about that. But what is it that you can talk about that you do know you are the expert? Like, no BS, you are. And I was like, you know what, Kevin? It doesn't matter if it's cats, dogs, cars, sports, photography, whatever it is, just talk about it, because then you'll get comfortable. And so the first videos that I posted that you'll ever see are on sports, because I could talk about sports all day. I am an expert in sports. That's the word I will use. I will say it. I am an expert in sports. I have put in the 77,000 hours needed. And so I just did that. And so the first couple of videos, and let me tell you, it was incredibly difficult to press post and incredibly difficult to not delete later. But I felt confident in the fact that the stuff I was saying was truthful, factual, and nobody could call me out on it. And then I
Yes.
just built from there. So then I was like, okay, what are 30-second videos I can create that won't take too much time, that will be factual, honest, open, transparent opportunities for me to speak to an audience about recruitment and what I think about it. So then I started talking about the human side of recruitment, just me being a job seeker. What are my experiences? Not what you should do, not advice, but what are my experiences? So then I just took you through my journey. And those are truth facts. Like I didn't make that up. That's just my life.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk about my life, that's okay. But I can talk about that back to you because I know the answer because it's my life. So if you're struggling, think about taking people on your journey. So cool, you're not the expert. Many people aren't, but they love to see the journey. So I took people on the journey of me becoming a recruiter. When I first started a year ago, I was a recruiting coordinator. I was not a recruiter, and nobody would give me a chance. So I started talking about that. And then I got my chance because I talked about not getting a chance. And then somebody saw it and finally gave it to me. So kind of moving forward now, I don't know, like 300, 400, 500 videos deep. Lately I've created videos in the dark with me talking. You can't even see my face. I was just like, hey, I'm just going to do this to show you that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I have created video. I've created a lot of videos that make 0 sense on purpose. Yeah. And so I'm at a place that I really try to help folks get out of their own mind, get out of their own thought processes and their own whatever it is that stops us from creating the beautiful thing that is the content that we have in our brains. Yeah. And that's the way I've done it. So now on the more creative side for recruitment, I have done some pretty cool and neat recruitment marketing videos that have made waves. And so the last thing I'll say is once you get 200, 300, 400 videos deep, and you will get there, by the way.
Yes.
It's crazy how quickly ideas come to you, how fast you're able to iterate, and then just how quickly you're able to create. It just happens. Yes. And so where right now it's such a struggle just to think about stuff. I'm telling you, once you get 5-6 months deep, it's just nothing. It just comes. It's just a muscle. You've been strengthening that muscle, and then at the 6 to 8 month mark, you're just flexing it. That's it, and it just comes.
I love that you brought that up because that is so true. Everyone always asks about, live streaming and trying to figure out like how they can make it work for them because, time and trying to figure out what to say and all this. And then it's the same thing. Once you start doing it after a few times, that everything becomes alive. Like literally I'm having conversations with people, whether in person or on Zooms, and that needs to be alive. I was on a call yesterday and I was like,
I do that all the time.
That's such a great question that I said, we need to do a live about this. We were going to do it yesterday right after our call, but there was appointments that came up. So nice. We're actually going to do it tomorrow. But it was so good and so relevant to this conversation and just video in general that, again, everything does become a piece of content and it does become another video that you can share. And I love that you brought up that you're testing, I'm going to say testing, but you're making all these different types of videos.
Definitely.
Ones that are very specific and then ones that are just for fun and that are showing your face, but then also aren't showing your face. Because that's another thing that I know a lot of people run into is that they're not quite comfortable yet showing themselves all the time or even, sometimes. And it's like, there are ways around that and you just have to be open to the ideas. So I'm really glad that you brought that up. And
I could just real quick, that's a great point. So, I mean, you can post pictures of yourself. You can make a GIF out of yourself. Yes. You can create sliders now. Mm-hmm. So there's so many creative ways in which you can still put your face out there. And it's important that you put your face out there, in my estimation, especially these days. And I mean, for me, a recruiter, how it helps me, I'll just really quick. How it helps me is I message people on LinkedIn and I email people all day. Before I was creating content, my email and in-mail open and response rate were sub 50%. In the 6 months since, in the last 2 months, I have sent over 500 pieces of mail. My open and response rates are above 80%. And it's because this amazing dynamic happens where as soon as I send the message, I'll go to see who's viewed my LinkedIn. Guess who went to go view it? And then they go look, they see I'm an amicable guy. They know, I don't know if they get to the trust me, but they like me. They see that I put my face out there. You get to know me pretty quickly if you watch just a couple videos, and then boom, and then 6 times out of 10 they'll even mention it in their message. Hey, I was reaching out to you, loved your video on this, loved your banner, loved this, loved that, and that's what happens.
Oh, it's so awesome that you shared that, because that is key that I want everyone to pay attention to before we wrap up here, is that it's so important to know that it's not just about going live and posting a video. It's so much more than that, because people do their research. They have access to every piece of content that you're sharing, that your website, your socials, like they have Google, they can search for you, and they will search for you most of the time before they ever contact you. And so what you just described was a perfect scenario of what happens, is that chances are you're going to be reaching out to someone. They're not going to instantly reply to you. They're going to research who you are because they don't know you. They're going to see what you shared on social. They're going to probably go to your website if you have one, which you should. And then you're going to see if this is someone that you really want to get to know a little bit better, right? Think about it. It's like dating. If you're going to date someone, chances are you're probably Googling them before you actually go on the first date. Let's be honest.
Well, like you said earlier, Ed, talking about sales and selling.
Yeah.
So here is something for everybody looking to create content that you will never ever know until you've done it consistently. I'd say 4 to 8 months, somewhere in there. Here's what happens. All of a sudden, you start getting DMs from people that want to work with you. And they say things like this: love your content, love what you're doing, and I want to work with you. And here's what happens. Then you go back to all your content and you're like, I have never seen this person never seen them comment, never seen them do anything. Who is this person? And what you didn't know was they've been lurking on your content since you started. Or exactly as you said, they went through your whole history and looked, but they didn't they didn't comment, because they just don't do that.
Yeah.
But they're looking. There are over 350 million active users on LinkedIn. Trust me. And there's only 1% of people that actually create content 20 times a month. So that tells you there's a lot of people that are just consuming content.
Yeah.
So even when you don't get the likes or the comments, I guarantee you people are viewing, they're paying attention, and they're getting to know you. Just keep being consistent.
That is key. Consistency, and knowing that I call them secret followers. So those who are watching our every move and they're not necessarily engaging with us. And half the time we don't even know that they're there. But like you said, they come out of the woodworks and they, boom, I love what you're doing. You inspire me, and you're like, wait, who is this person? Like, it's the most magical moment. And we all will have that. If you haven't already, we'll all have that moment.
Yep.
But that's why we have to realize that creating this content, sharing our voice, being able to use live streaming and create these videos, it's not just for an instant love or an instant click. It's for the long haul here. And we have to understand that we're building relationships. That takes time, and that the efforts that you put in today are going to pay off. It's very, very important that we realize that and understand that it's not just about trying to get it up on the, keep up with the algorithms and trying to get the
Yep.
love. It's more than that.
That's right. I have 4 clients I work with. All 4 of them came because I've been creating content for 6 months, and all 4 came at almost literally the 4.5-month mark, where something happened in my feed where I was going from like 10 to 20 reactions, likes, celebrations, whatever, and like maybe 30 to 40 comments. And then all of a sudden it got to like 75 to 100 comments, or yeah, 75 to 100 comments, 75 to 100 reactions. And then people knew I was going to show up. I've been showing up for 4 months. They knew I would continue to show up. They knew how I would show up, why I was showing up, when I was showing up. And then that made it so that, yeah, now the 4 clients I work with, they all work with me and reached out to me on LinkedIn because I create content. And I would not have these clients if I did not.
I love that. And before we end here, what's one piece of advice that you would give to people who are looking for roles right now, or who's just really trying to take it to the next level?
Yeah. So you can design your LinkedIn in a myriad of ways. You're going to hear recruiters tell you that your about section is more important, that your experience section is more important, that your cover photo is more important, whatever. I'm going to tell you for a fact. I use this thing called LinkedIn Recruiter. And what it does is it's LinkedIn's search engine essentially for jobs, for when I'm looking for job seekers.
Yeah.
And if you are engaging on LinkedIn, and I will add this, if you are engaging and creating content, you are going to come up so much more in searches. And that's because LinkedIn is a big, database.
Yes.
We use keywords. So the more content you create, the more keywords you're putting out there into the LinkedIn world. Okay. The more you engage, you comment on people's posts, the more keywords you're putting out there into LinkedIn. So the higher you're going to come up, the more people are going to search your profile, the higher your search appearances you'll notice. So in your LinkedIn, you're going to see there's like people who viewed your profile, and then there's search appearances. Yeah. When you start creating content and engaging more, those numbers will tick up, and that's how you know you're on the right path, because now you're coming up higher in those LinkedIn searches that people like me, recruiters, do to find you when you're looking for a job. So if there's anything I could tell you to do right now, it's comment more, engage more, and create content.
Yes. Oh, that is so, so good. Now, if you all are tuning in, be sure to catch the replay, re-listen to this episode. We covered a lot of ground, from video, creating videos, to just posting in general and picking a platform. And while it's important to include LinkedIn with part of your strategy, even if it's one that you haven't really been touching lately, that's okay. You should still start to do it. And this episode hopefully helped motivate you to do that. And what Kevin just said about the profile and being able to connect and start engaging more and having you bump up, that was huge. So that by itself was a motivator, hopefully, to get you to do something on LinkedIn more consistently. Yeah, same, please. So be sure to start. It's going to be scary, especially for those who haven't really got their feet wet on LinkedIn. You might have a profile, but you haven't been over there. You have a lot of updates to do. Listen, it takes time, piece by piece, but it starts with you showing up, delivering some information, and then start engaging. And as you slowly do that, you'll start finding yourself over there more, which is what I've been doing myself. And that's why I've been connecting with more awesome people like Kevin and being able to have opportunities where we can have conversations outside of LinkedIn and be able to connect, whether a live stream or a Zoom call. It's been amazing. And you really do have a different type of engagement than you get on other social platforms. So please take the time to start slowly adding it in. And if you're watching the live stream, drop your LinkedIn profile below so we can connect. You have Kevin's here in the description of this live. Connect with him. It's awesome. And yeah, if you guys need anything, be sure to reach out. And Kevin, any last words? Are we good?
Yeah, no, I just want to say, anybody at home, sincerely appreciate you checking me out. Ed, I absolutely, yes. If I may say the same,
Yeah.
before just a little while ago, which was like 2, 3 weeks ago, me and Ed did not know each other. But LinkedIn is this crazy, amazing place where people form relationships quickly. I think, it's one of the best marketing places because people mostly show up as themselves. You're getting the whole human being. And the last year of our shared pain point, which is the pandemic, has increased that value in terms of people wanting to show up as themselves. Because we recognize that we all have these lives, right here, where we're all just people. And so I just want to say I sincerely appreciate you, having met you and having been able to come on your show and have a platform. So sincere thank you. And again, thank you to everybody for listening. I appreciate y'all.
Definitely. Kevin, stick around. Everyone else, we will see you back here soon. Enjoy the rest of your day, and remember to show up, deliver, and engage. Take care, everyone.
Bye, guys.